Well, hello and welcome to this edition of Hawk Talk. I am David Sandars. I'm the Regional Director for EMEA for DatacenterHawk, and I'm joined today by Jérôme Totel of Data4. Jérôme, would you
Hello,
like
David.
to take a few minutes to introduce yourself?
Hello, David. My name is Jérôme Totel, Strategy and Innovation Director at Data4. I'm working in the company since 10 years, and I'm leading the strategy of the group, including public affairs, marketing, communication, innovation, and market intelligence.
So a wide range of responsibilities there, and nice of you to join us today. Thank you very much indeed. Okay, so Jérôme, Data4 is a European-focused data center operator. Would you like to give us an introduction to the business and the background and how and when it all started?
Sure. So Data4 has been created in 2006 in France. By a JV between Alcatel and an investment fund. The company started to build a campus of data centers in France, in the south of Paris, in a campus in a city which is called Marcoussis, which is a site from a Compagnie Générale d'Électricité in France. This site has now more than 20 data centers up and running. After this site, the company has started to create campuses outside of France. So the company opened a campus in 2014 in Italy, 2020 in Spain, 2023 in Poland. And at the moment, we are also building a brand new campus of data center in Germany, in Frankfurt, and a new campus of data center in Greece. So we are the European colocation provider across 6 countries with 10 campus of data center across Europe.
That's very interesting. And for people who are familiar with the European market, they'll recognize that Paris and Frankfurt are 2 of the 5 big European markets, the others being London, Amsterdam, and Dublin. And then you've also got a mixture in there of emerging markets as well. So Madrid, Milan, Athens, and Warsaw. Apart from the initial business that started in Paris, how do you go about selecting which markets to enter?
Very good question. So as you told us a few minutes ago, so the FLAP market is a key market for the data center sector. So France, Amsterdam, Paris, London, etc. So that's why we are having a quite big number of data center in Paris, and we are also building a new campus in Frankfurt. However, there are some emerging markets like Italy, like Spain, like Greece, for new needs, especially due to the connectivity. For example, in Milan, there are a lot of submarine cables arriving from Genoa. In Athens, you have also quite a big number of submarine cables arriving from Asia and the Middle East, and that's why Athens is becoming also a new hub for data center. And Madrid is also a new opportunity, and that's why Data4 has decided to invest a few years ago in Madrid, because Spain has a quite unique position on the market. It's connected to Asia, it's connected to South America, it's connected also to Africa and North America. And Madrid is now a hub between all the continents all around the world. And that's why Madrid is a very good location. And Spain, more globally, is a quite good destination for data center. To answer to your question, when we open a new market, we have, and my team is working on this, especially in order to evaluate the market needs in a few years ago, and we have also a very good relationship with our customers, and we are quite lucky because we are able to test the market with our customer in order to ensure that if we open a new activity in a new city, a new region, they would be okay, and they would be quite interesting to go in this destination. So it's a mix between market analysis, figures, and also feedback from existing customers.
So it's really interesting to hear there's a kind of mixture of customer demand, but also a strong emphasis on availability of connectivity when selecting which markets to enter from Data4's perspective.
Exactly. Quite important in terms of connectivity, and now more and more quite important in terms of electricity, because as you know, it's more and more difficult to access to electricity. For example, in France, we produce a lot of energy last year in 24. So EDF has exported roughly 20% of the production in France outside of France, but the power connection, the grid, is not enough sophisticated and enough power in order to transmit all the power that we need. And that's why now, on top of the connectivity point of view, we need also to double check the energy point of view in order to ensure that we are installing a new campus of data center in an area where we can have access to energy.
And as a lot of people who follow the European market closely will understand, that is becoming harder and harder. What are the sort of differences between trying to obtain energy in a more established market like Paris and Frankfurt, as opposed to the more emerging markets like Madrid, Milan, Warsaw, Athens, etc.?
There is no rule, to be honest, between existing very large cities with a lot of data center and new emerging markets. So there is no specific rules. It's becoming, from a global point of view, it's becoming more and more difficult to have access to energy in the very big markets. So that's why it's becoming more and more logical to go in a new destination across Europe, and the market in Europe regarding data center is quite dynamic. We expect by 2030 every year the market will grow by 17%, mainly due to AI. And if we want to succeed to deliver all these new data centers, we need to go in a destination where energy is available, and not in 10 years, available in a few years, in order to be able to deliver on time the data centers that we need in Europe.
Absolutely. It sounds like your research department has been busy there calculating the predicted demand and growth, and obviously focusing on how to meet that need as well. So, Jérôme, just going back to the early days, Data4 is almost 20 years old now, and started in Paris. So what kind of growth has the business seen? What kind of scale is it at now across all of the markets that you are present in?
Yeah. So at the moment, Data4 is in a 6 market with 10 campus of data center across Europe, in France, Spain, Italy, Germany, Poland, and Greece. We have more than 30 data center at platform level, and we have 1.5 gigawatt of power secured with the TSO. So we are delivering campus of data center in Europe, which is quite unique since 2006. The data centers that we were delivering in 2006 were data center with 2 megawatts, 3 megawatts, etc. Now we are building bigger and bigger data center with more density. So, for example, we are delivering a 30 megawatt data center or more, in order to deliver and to offer the ability to customers, especially customers who are a cloud provider or enterprise or AI provider, in order to allow them to have all their IT equipment, their IT platform in the same data center. We have different segments of customers. The first one is enterprise. We are working with a lot of enterprise in France, in Italy, in Spain, etc. With a national or local enterprise. We are also working with a cloud service provider and content provider. We are also starting to work with a neo cloud provider. We are also working with integrators and obviously with telco for two main reasons. First, because they need to be in our data center in order to deliver connectivity services to our customers. In addition, it's quite important to be in our data center for them in order to deliver connectivity solution, not only inside the data center, but in the region where our data center is available. So we have a quite interesting range of customers with different focus depending on the needs. Some of them are delivering application on their own private cloud. Some of them are delivering solution on their public cloud for end customers. And it's quite interesting in terms of ecosystem, because it means that in the same campus, our customers are quite different and they are able to buy services and to make some interconnection between them in order to buy services from other customers in the same location, in the same campus.
So the campus strategy really focuses on delivering value to the customer.
Yeah, it's very important because the campus strategy is a key because from a scalability point of view, it means that a customer can start with one rack, for example, or one dedicated suite. And if in the future this customer is growing a lot, he will be able to buy additional capacity in the same location, maybe in another data center, but in the same campus, which is key because it's much more convenient for him to grow on the same place instead of creating a new platform in another location, because it means that the customer will need connectivity between the different campuses. He will need additional network equipment, additional storage equipment. So it's more painful. So that's why the scalability point of view of our campus is key according to us.
Very interesting. It's always important, obviously, to enable customers to expand, to grow, and in the same location as well. So a clear benefit to your business there. But in terms of developing a campus of data centers, so a plot of land with lots of facilities on the same plot of land, how complicated is that? How difficult is that to achieve in the times that we find ourselves in now?
When you're building a very large campus, it means that you're concentrating all the risk on the same location. So for sure, you need to be very careful about managing the risk properly in order to be safe and to avoid any issue. But on the other hand, it's quite also interesting for the community to have a campus of data center in a city. If we take the example of all the city where we have campuses, the municipalities, the mayors, all the public stakeholders are very happy having a campus of data center in their area. If I take just one example, for example, in Marcoussis, which is the first campus of data center that we started in 2006, every day 1,000 people are going on this site every day, including Data4's staff, including our suppliers and also our customers. And I can tell you that it's very important for the dynamism of a region, having 1,000 people arriving on site every day. And the mayor of the city and all the different stakeholders are very happy about this new activity, which is created by IT platform hosted in the same area.
Well, 1,000 people a day, that's like a small town, isn't it? And clearly Data4 are making a significant impact to the local economy by bringing those people into that area.
Yeah, in terms of economy for sure, because we are paying taxes, etc. But not only on the economical point of view, it's also interesting for the attractiveness and all the dynamism that we offer to the community. We have Data for Good program, and it's very important for us in this program to emphasize the community point of view. So just as an example, every year in our campus, in every campus of data center, we are welcoming more than 100 students in the data center, in the campus of data center, in order to show them and to explain what is a data center, and also in order to explain them the environmental footprint of a data center. It means that we have an impact. We try to reduce it as much as possible, and all the students have a responsibility of this impact. It means that if we are always on our tabs, phone, etc., there is an impact because there is a data center behind. And it's quite important to train and to sensibilize all the students. Some of them are 12 years old, some of them are 15, and also some of them are 21, 22 years old. It's very important because I can tell you that when they enter into the campus, they do not realize that when they are typing something on their tabs on their phone, every time there is a data center behind. And it's very well perceived by the municipality also, and by the schools inside the city or inside the region, because they have the ability to understand how is working the digital world.
I totally agree. It's always fascinating to explain to people just how emails are sent and how an app is downloaded onto a mobile phone or a tablet, and how we communicate in the modern world, and what actually happens behind the scenes. And when you explain it to people and even show them with photographs or online videos, or even take them into a data center, you can really see their eyes opening wide and saying, wow, I had no idea everything like all of this infrastructure, all of this equipment, all of this complexity sits behind such a simple operation at the front end on a mobile phone or some similar piece of equipment.
But, exactly. So it's very interesting.
Absolutely, it's eye-opening, and I'm sure you get a very, very positive response from those students, and it's something that will perhaps stay with them for many years as they move into their professional lives, I'm sure.
Yes, sure. And some of them are applying a few months or few years ago after in order to work in the company, but it's not the original objective. The objective is really to explain to the young people how is working a data center and what is the environmental footprint of our digital usage.
Absolutely, a commendable program. But let me move on to another subject. You mentioned this kind of scale of data centers and how they're growing earlier in our conversation. So when the business started, a 2 or 3 megawatt data center was quite large, and now we're looking at 30, 40, 50, even bigger data centers. And with that, in this day and age, we're also seeing demand for very high density cabinets. And what preparation are Data4 making, or what do you already have in place even to support cabinet capacities of maybe 100 kilowatts and more?
Yeah, very good question, because in the past we were delivering capacity for customer hosting their private or public cloud, and now more and more we are now more and more focused on AI workload also. It doesn't mean that we are not delivering capacity for cloud, for sure, no, because the cloud is still growing every year, but we are also requested to deliver a lot of new capacity for AI, either inferencing, either training. In Europe, to be honest, the request is more for inferencing compared to training. But inferencing doesn't mean a lower capacity. For sure, it's still a quite important capacity and quite important density. So that's why we have realized a specific project on a DLC technology in order to make this technology working properly at Data4 at Europe level. And now this technology is fully ready for our customers. So all the data centers that we are building just right now are AI ready. It means that the customer, for example, in 15 months, when we will deliver the capacity, the data center will be able to be air-cooled or DLC-cooled or a mix between air and DLC, because all the workload, all the equipment will not be only GPU. The customer will continue to have network needs, also to have storage needs, and those kind of equipment are not very dense in terms of power. So it's very important to, and even if we deliver a data center in, for example, in 10 months, 15 months, a data center with a density of 30 kilowatt per rack, for example, maybe this data center will need twice, maybe 100 kilowatt, I don't know, per rack in 5, 6, 7 years. And as you can imagine, we are not building a data center just for 3 years. We are building a data center for 20, 30 years. And that's why it's important to be very flexible in the future in order to increase or to decrease, if needed, the capacity, the number of megawatt per square meter.
Thank you for that. And in terms of customer demand, are you seeing a lot of requests for kind of mixed cooling infrastructure, like you mentioned? So either air-cooled or liquid-cooled, or both together?
It really depends on the type of customer. For enterprise customer, it's a mix between air-cooled and liquid-cooled. For neo cloud or for hyperscalers, it's more either only air-cooled, either only liquid-cooled, but more and more also the hyperscaler are asking a mix for flexibility, because in the future, probably they will have server plus a GPU plus network plus storage equipment in the same area, in the same IT room. So that's why they need to have flexibility also in our data centers.
Very good, and it sounds like you're very well prepared to meet that demand. So I'm sure you'll benefit from that engineering approach. That's for sure. But to change subject again, I recently saw an announcement from Data4 that you'd signed a partnership with EDF, the energy provider in France, and also Edison Energia, if that's correct. Can you tell us more about how that partnership came about, and the purpose of that, and what it will deliver to both all three parties rather engaged in that?
Yeah. So in fact, the idea is to so as a data center is using a lot of electricity. For us, it's key also to make some PPA contract for two main reasons. The first one is to subsidize the electricity grid in order to allow the grid to have more power. So this is the first reason, and the second one is also to sustain, to deliver new capacity of renewable energy. So this is the first objective. And on top of it, it's also a good mechanism from a pricing point of view, because it allow you to predict your electricity cost in the future within the next few years, which is key in our sectors. And that's why we started 3 years ago to create PPA contract. The last one that we have signed is in France with EDF. It's a very specific contract. It's not renewable energy, it's decarbonized energy, because we are having a contract with based on a nuclear plant. So it's a nuclear PPA, which is quite unique on the market, especially in France. And it's quite important for us and also for EDF because it's showing how the data center sector is dynamic. And it's key, and it's a new example of France being a good destination for data center, because last year in France, 95% of the energy used in France were fully decarbonized, thanks to first nuclear plant, and second, thanks to also new renewable infrastructure that has been delivered, installed in France. And that's why we have signed this PPA contract with EDF a few weeks ago.
So it's not just a partnership to secure energy provision for Data4 as a large consumer of energy, but there's a very real focus on sustainability there and removing carbon from the electricity supply in the data center.
Exactly, fully right.
Excellent. Well, it's good to see that, and it's great to see Data4 leading the field in that respect in France. And just to finish off now, I always like to ask people where they think the business will be, where they think the industry will be in the next 10 years or so. What are your predictions for how Data4 will evolve from this point in its history, being 20 years old next year, and moving forward? And how do you think the industry will evolve as well in Europe?
Yeah, the industry is moving very fast, so it's quite difficult to predict where Data4 will be in 10 years. However, we can anticipate some trends. So first, we need more and more infrastructure in Europe. You can have different studies, but some of the studies are saying that we need roughly between 30 to 35 gigawatt of data center in Europe by 2030. At the moment, we have a little bit more than 10 gigawatts, so we need to deliver faster and bigger by 2030. This is the first trend. This need is mainly due to two different factors. The first one is cloud, because cloud is continuing to grow in Europe. And the second factor is AI, because we anticipate a need for AI in Europe, which is quite important. It's very important to understand that if we do not deliver those data centers by 2030, they will be delivered outside of Europe, because the US is building fast. China and Asia is also building very fast. So I think Europe has a unique position, and it's key to understand that in Europe we need more infrastructure. But if we want to win this AI race in Europe, we need to go fast. However, fast doesn't mean doing everything and bad thing. We can deliver fast, but we can also deliver from a sustainable point of view, and it's key to understand this. What we see also is that the flap market will continue to attract new capacity, because the cloud is hosted in a flap market, and the cloud will continue to grow. So it means that the flap market will continue to be a key destination for a new capacity of data center. However, we anticipate new zone in Europe new availability zone being created by 2030 or by 2035 with a gigacampus in order to create a new zone in a region where electricity is available, where connectivity is okay, and where people are available to work in this region, because it's key to create a data center where you can find the people working in the DC, because data center without any people doesn't work very well. So this is a different trend that we are anticipating, and that's why Data4 is starting also to evaluate this kind of new gigacampus across Europe.
Well, a really comprehensive answer there, Jérôme. Thank you very much. I mean, there's a lot of exciting opportunity, but a lot of challenge, and also, as you say, predicted growth for the entire industry across the region. Looks very impressive, and it will be amazing to be involved in the journey as in Europe. The industry continues to grow and to evolve, and for Data4, will the focus remain on the European market, or do you have eyes on other regions of the world as well?
For the moment, we have so many things to do and to build in Europe. To be honest, the focus is in Europe. Doesn't mean that we will not go outside one day, but for the moment, our focus is in Europe, and we have a lot of things to do.
Absolutely. Well, we wish you well achieving them, and thank you very much indeed for spending some time today to explain more about your business and give us a real insight into how Data4 supports customers across some of those key European markets. And we look forward to watching your evolution and growth from this point forward. Jérôme, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you very well, David.